Okay. Hey, Koshik. Oh, I've been talking this entire time. Sorry. Yeah, I personally like the downside today. I thought that PCE would help close the gap because we essentially gapped up on a 4 like after yesterday's SPX close. New like I don't even know what news it was, but it just pumped. And that essentially caused a massive gap. I thought the gap would somewhat be filled prior to market open today. But the PCE news was a little bit mixed, so there wasn't really much to it. It looked like, and then I thought we would do a liquidity grab, which was previous day high, which I didn't think we had to do, but I thought we would do it because we were so darn close to it. NQ did it though. They did it pretty early on. I think it was during the London session. So yeah, I liked it down. I just didn't have an entry there, and it would have been like a decent play, a decent scalp at the very least. But now, like the range is so large here. Like we're looking at 30 points from the data high, 830 high, to the lows here. And if we're in the middle, I can't really do much, even though I like a gap fill. Give me one sec. Alma's report came in extremely late today. It came in, I think, a few minutes after market open. 74.89. So one thing that Alma did was she conglomerated all the positions, and there's basically customers are like net short, which means they are collecting premium, and it's in between a range of, I think, wait one sec, let me see here. I think it was a range of like 7,300 to, or 7,250 to about 7,450. So, or 7,460. Something around, it's like 200 point range where we essentially, or the customers would essentially win on that trade. So it's likely to be held within that range, but it's also making it really choppy because the entire week's positioning is net positive gamma. But what we're seeing today, it's net negative gamma on an ODTE basis. And you're basically sandwiched between 74.32 and 72.55 right now. I personally like downside, but I don't think I'm going to get an entry by any means. Like I'd have to just jump in on it and then pray. Just reading the report at the moment. So give me a sec. Upside pivot is way up there. Essentially like pretty darn close to the gap fill. Monday, Tuesday gap fill. $74.20 seems to be like where Alma thinks that price could settle at if we're in this ranging between her downside and upside pivot, which is interesting. But if we're above the upside pivot, we're going to stabilize. That's what she's saying. Yeah, what are you liking right now, Koshik? I'm gonna watch this overnight low here to see if we can get somewhat of a bounce. I'm not gonna be front running anything today, just because I feel like if we break the previous day high, I don't know if we'll reject cleanly. And the overnight low, though it's like maybe halfway to the gap, I'm just not certain that we won't get a gap fill. Maybe we do get a bounce off the overnight low there, but NQ is definitely not giving it right now. What's interesting is if you're looking at the NQ part of my screen, I had like this edge of node drawn out on the 1 hour. Price action had other ideas, but still respecting that edge of node to some degree. Mind you, it was still like, if you're blindly entered, it would have been like a 4 a.m. entry with 25 point drawdown and then 100 point gain max. So like risk reward seemed okay, but then you had the 8 o'clock pop that popped and closed right at the edge of node there. So it was an edge of node that I had drawn out. Yeah, look at this thing go. Holy cow. That's the straddle low, by the way. Right here. I wish I just kind of entered and just prayed. Because today, the positioning is so thin that it made for like great momentum potential. And we're almost at the gap fill already. Like we're 10 points away from the gap fill. So bias was correct, but execution was poor. Well, I didn't see an opportunity to enter. Like it's hard because right at 9:30, right at 9:31, let's say 9:31, you get that nice red candle. It's great, but the average is obviously very low to begin with, right? 500 point move on NQ. Yeah, that's insane. Didn't catch any of it. Holy cow. Yeah, as soon as we closed yesterday at 4 p.m. and I saw the ES rocket ship up like 50, 60 points or something, I figured there was going to be an opportunity to short. Especially because more or less we've been in this range here since Tuesday, right? Tuesday, yesterday. We've just been ranging around this 80 point range or something. But yeah, I still really do like downside to the gap fill at the very least. Ugh, this pains me. What a drive down. And it's not stopping. Holy cow. So the straddle seem to have been underpriced. That's the full gap fill. Yeah, seriously. All right. Where are we going here? Is this going to run down and run through? I was really close to. I really wanted to go long there. But it's really hard. Holy cow. It's gonna like, it's just going, there's no consolidation at the bottom today. But I didn't want a knife catch that. That was a really dirty knife catch. $9.50. Is there 10 o'clock news today? No 10 o'clock news. Ooh, a lot of the positioning has changed. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let me transition over. This thing can run down. It was just like a decent pop up there, but there wasn't much of a signal besides like Alma's levels. Yeah, I'm not willing to try a knife catch or anything here. Everything looks like it's gonna get destroyed today. Double bottom on ES. Equal lows, sorry, I should say. Equal lows. But NQ looks like it's still going to run here. I don't think this is an opportunity to go long. I feel like definitely should have like followed my hunch and just shorted for the gap fill. We're almost at previous day low here. So let's see what happens at previous day low. But this is a very impulsive move down. The momentum is like so strong to the downside. It's giving me FOMO. NQ is not at previous day low yet. I have no edge of node until another like 40 points on ES. And today would have been one of those days to play like the 1 minute break and follow the 1 minute ADMA, which hasn't even gotten close to touching yet. A trend following strategy. I can see this move going to like 275 on 7275 on SPX. That's if we want to even stop there. I mean, it would make sense. The negative gamma in on the daily takes us to about 7250. Yeah, this is insane. Holy cow. Yeah, let me know if you see anything on the 1 minute. When it comes to the bull bear indicator. I'm just not seeing anything here. Pretty close to previous day low, just shy of it on NQ. Past 10 o'clock now, and looks like there's somewhat of a reversal. VIX got up to almost 20 there. It got to 19.96. It was crazy because the previous day high on ES was so close to being grabbed. YM is getting close to its new high of day. Amazing. Just amazing. Somewhat getting a rotation into an SMH there. The semis ETF was like up pretty high to open, and it basically followed NQ down and ES down. Healthcare stocks are holding up really nicely, which is great for my portfolio. But software stocks aren't actually taking a hit. They had already taken a hit much earlier. Good pump up right here. Holy cow. What a move. No signal there for me. YM is on a rocket ship. Holy cow. Yeah, I believe that's new all-time highs on YM. man, today is like a hard to trade day and hard to watch. Yeah, I think that rapid account that you're talking about, um so it's end of day drawdown to start with the evaluation, but once you get to sim funded, it's intraday trailing. It's much like take profit trader, which is why I'm not a huge fan of that account. What an insane day. Yeah, I'm definitely not a huge fan of that account, just looking at it. I just hate it when the eval stage differs from the sim funded stage. Like to me, that's it's almost like unfair. I need 10 points. How am I going to get this 10 points? I need things to kind of settle down a little. NQ is pretty far from its VWAP there, but I think you got like some 1 minute SMT on between ES and NQ. Yeah, this is one of those days you got to trade MES. That was a 15-minute ADMA that we rejected off of on ES2. So I wonder if I measured the fib. 618 pullback. See how this 5 minutes close. Looks like top wick, but the risk is unreal unless you're taking it on MES. Almost 20 points of risk. NQ is trying to hold the 5 minute ADMA there. But SPX, something about SPX still looks bullish. But there was a 1 minute SMT and it did give maybe like 15 points, depending on where you entered. And was that a fake out? It's a good 5 minute close. I'd just be scalping if anything, but I'm not. Forget this. Koshik, what are you doing, man? Are you reading a book? No, just painfully watching. Tell me about it, man. It's like ultimate FOMO. It's just like, I just want like 10 points. And we went, you know, about 100. Like, it's so hard. Why is it gotta be this hard? You ever seen anyone crash out from not taking a trade? I might do that today. Rejection was interesting. I didn't anticipate a rejection there out of all places. One of the guys that I trade with, he got an 800 point NQ trade, which is insane. It's only like 16K USD on his live account. It's amazing. But he just kind of like, I think he spends a lot of time on another server. So he really just posts gains, which I wouldn't say is helpful. But not bad from a... Let me see here. He did post a chart. The chart is not super great on why he entered, but like he had initially wanted 440 as the entry on NQ, but we didn't hit 440. We hit 260. Wow, what a rocket. Yeah, that was pretty wild that he got that many points on NQ. I mean, good for him. Amazing. I'm just seeing Alma's message now in her Substack chat, which is not like the greatest chat. Like sometimes I can't tell her apart from anyone else because the chat is just like a ongoing chat and I have to be watching it. But she had said a quick long could work here at 10:03. But mind you, 10:03, like we had already moved 20 points. No, 30 points. Almost 40 points, I would say. 30 to 40 points we had already moved. And then we had another 40 points to go, apparently. But yeah, like, you have to know... This is the thing about playing trend, I guess. Like, at some point, you decide to take an entry, and maybe it... on ES, maybe it's like 74, 72 break. Or maybe it's the overnight low break at 74.51. But to be fair, the gamma did suggest there was a potential for a range expansion. mainly because there's no, it's very light gamma and light to negative gamma at best. Like all the position sizes were under 1,000. So you're looking at hundreds in position sizes and a massive gap up and PCE news. So everything lent itself to a move, a trending move. But I think it's tough when you're a reversion trader and you want to switch to trend. It's never like an on and off switch, right? Centroid rejection there. Yeah, and the rejection was also another 1 minute SMT. But I don't think anything really happened from a bull bear volume indicator perspective because the average volume is so darn high. Maybe 1022, but yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, so Alma's levels here look decent. I would have wanted to see lower here, and the centroid being 7390 almost rejected perfectly there. But I don't believe the centroid is a line in the sand today. Like, she didn't make any mention of that. She just said it's a centroid, and it's basically where balance is for the most part. And YM is just continuing its rocket ship. Software stocks are holding up relative to everything else that's going down. But it's like one of those cases where software stocks are pretty beaten up right now. But it's trying its best to hold up. Whereas healthcare stocks are actually making higher highs here. That seems to be the only thing that goes up when everything goes down. I'm going to take a look at semiconductors, which is SMH. Yeah, we opened pretty high on SMH, 650, and then went to a low of 614, now back to 625. NQ looks funky from like yesterday's move to today's overnight move. You can argue the same about ES. I would say it's almost like a megaphone, but it didn't quite get there. But it is making lower lows on ES. Like every day made a lower low. So it's like Tuesday, lower low, Wednesday, lower low, Thursday, lower low. But we end up right back somehow into this range. Which is building like massive volume. But yeah, I'm almost certain that the guy that I trade with, or that I used to trade with more frequently, the reason why he shorted was because of that edge of node there at 30,208. Like that's his strategy. And he used fibs and he kind of got like a fib level of 440, but my guess is that he entered early and willing to sit through 200-point loss on NQ. Or a DCA kind of entry. If NQ starts catching a bid here, which it seems like it might, we could see the high of day. And so far, the 1 minute ADMA has been testing, or sorry, 1 minute 20. I'm following the 1 minute 20 moving average for some weird reason. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I follow. And it's been kissing the 20 MA on the way up on ES. It's very possible. Like, it would shock me, but it also wouldn't shock me if we were to run up to that 75.50. which means that this down move is pretty much over. There's no real news coming in. Nothing. That core PCE came in, or PCE in general came in like in line. But GDP is slightly up. GDP index, price index. US consumer spending higher too. US durable goods down. Initial jobless claims. Pretty close to forecast, actually slightly better. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, volume's dying off substantially. Holy cow. I mean, we are at the centroid, and that's where it's balanced. NQ's not having as great of a comeback as ES is, but YM was pretty much driving this thing. Just plowing through all-time highs and then moved 300 points above that. Yeah, that's I kind of like that trade that you entered there. Thought about it, but I had to run back downstairs for a sec. Ooh. Something about this looks really good. I want to try an MES if we can get a little bit of a pullback up here. Let me try an MES. Yeah, and the play is to infinity, down. Whoops, I just realized that was not MES. Okay, I had to close that one out. And then we'll retry on MES. That was a close one. Yeah, that was definitely a close one. I almost got destroyed there. Good thing I realized it was an MES really quickly. And got like maybe 0.5 of an ES point in the green. I consider myself lucky. Did that not copy? No, it did not copy. What the fudge? Oh, I'm having the same issue with my copier. Alright, that sucks. Yeah, this is what happens when I like mess around and accidentally override the automatic switchover on some of these contracts. And when I did that, my copier, some of my tabs on my copier, like I adjusted ES and NQ after realizing that. But I forgot to adjust MES, so I didn't get the copy on that. Okay. Yeah, that cut me out. So maybe it's a good thing it didn't copy. Yeah, I just, yeah, I just went like I tried one MES at like where I think at around 55, and then I added one more once we got up to like 62, just in case. But yeah, no go. This is Raging Bull now. Like, this is insane. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, of trading in this range either. But there, so yeah, you took the trade, and then I was looking at the 15 minutes. And oh, actually, yours show the 15-minute too, funny enough. But yeah, when I saw that doji on the 15-minute, I was like, oh, I gotta try it. But I waited for a retrace up just in case before I entered. What I didn't like about it is that the 15-minute, when it retraced up, it was after it swept the 15-minute candle low. And both ES and NQ did that, which I didn't really love about it. I find that when it does that, it oftentimes we just continue with the pump on the doji. But it was worth a shot at that key level. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, today's gonna be hard. Happening here. Things acting up. Why is it acting up? My options depth chart is acting up. That was another SMT there on the 1 minute. So this is going to be interesting for a 15-minute close. If we close under the doji, that's just wild behavior. Still 2 minutes left though. To me, this is absurd. But it's back to, this is where POC is. That's how you know it's volatile. Holy cow. 24.10. Okay, fuck it. Let's try another single MES. Pray for me, Koshik. I'm being an idiot. This is all contingent on a 15-minute close below the doji. Which is an early entry, but it's just one MES, which is why I don't mind it so much. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. Worst entry too. Ugh. It's like it's telling us to play every 1 minute SMT and take profit ASAP. Yeah, 30-minute close is interesting to see. The volatility is super high, which is why you're getting like candles that look like this. Yeah. Yeah. Your yesterday's top pick was pretty darn good, I must say. And I think you said you got wicked out of that one, right? And that was the high of day pretty much. Like it would have only been, I don't know, almost a 100-point play. 90 points. This one was tough. Like this one is not like a massive wick. Like this is a pretty convincing move to the upside for like, what did it go? About almost 10 points above, 8 points above. But the way that this structure looks, I like the way it looks for downside. the volatility is just insane right now. I also have no idea where it'll go for downside. Like YM is taking a beat right here, so it's pulling back a little. NQ is looking a little stronger. But I think I'm risking about... Is it 25 points? 25 points risk on MES. Single MES. Yeah, I really like the 30-minute close, but there's a massive wick on that 30-minute close. So we can retrace the entire wick, or we can just bust through, like, and it'd be like the wrong call. NQ is still under its VWAP, is what I'm seeing. And the ES VWAP has been a pretty good support so far. Yeah, when the 15-minute closes doji like that, and then the next candle top wicks and closes red, like, I like a short most of the time. But I don't know if it's going to play out. So we'll see how this goes. It's been weird this week. I mean, you get that range. What was it? Monday tank. No, sorry, Monday range. Tuesday tank overnight, and then range intraday during regular trading hours. Then we range, continue to range, and then we tank yesterday, only to pump back up after hours, after 4 o'clock. We're actually right at 4. And then we tanked today. Like it's like the market's really keeping you on your toes here. And if you survive, great. Like that's the best thing that can happen, right? Okay, so a little bit of SMT there between ES and NQ at the lows. Value area low here on ES. Got 3 minutes left on the 15-minute chart. So I really want to see this close like red. Nice red. Deep red. Oh, nice. You entered too? Wait, what was your entry? Like my entry was at 50. 74.50. Garbage entry. Hopefully you got something better. So like my break even can't be, it might get retested. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good entry. You must have got an entry shortly after me on the retracement candle, right? I want to take this down to infinity. At least you got 2 MES. That's good. You probably already got your 1R back, right? Okay, I got a 1000 tick oversold indicator there, which might not be a good sign. Which means institutional algos are selling, and they're selling at the very max of what they can sell. So normally you get like a nice red candle here, but oftentimes it ends up being somewhat a reversal indicator. But it depends on the environment. Yeah, exactly. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because that negative 1000 tick indicator is a big one. Yeah, I'm going break even. Or full TP. I agree. A negative 1000 tick is never really a great sign. It's normally like institutions are starting to, that was like max sell. Hopefully it just continues plummeting though. And then it just ends up being negative 1000 tick after negative 1000 tick after negative 1000 ticks. But I think the Bloomberg one is a lot more accurate than the TradingView one. This looks good though on a 15-minute. I like the 30-minute chart, the way it looks. Let's go. I wish I accidentally took ES this time. But I should not be that lucky. Okay, where are we going here? Okay, this is where the potential bounce is. I'm a little bit worried about this bounce here. You can totally take one off now, right? Like, you're good. If you wanted to, anyways. Because you actually have 2 positions. I only got one, but across 3 accounts. I suppose I can take profit on some accounts, but so now we're at the downside pivot. I'm at break even. It's also, that the 1 hour value area low? No, actually this value area low is not accurate. I wonder why that is. Yeah, that's a good out. I'm thinking about closing, but I'm just gonna hold this one. Yeah, that downside pivot. Alma did say that we're likely to bounce off of the downside pivot. Mind you, we only bounced like 10 points the first time off that pivot. Are you using your trend following strategy? Yeah, I'm anticipating my stop loss to hit. I did take it off the other accounts, but I ended up taking off at around 74.20. I left this one account. See how close I can get to passing without actually passing. So what did you say no to, Koshik? Kind of jumping back and forth here. US 10-year yield. Ooh, US 10-year yield is down pretty good. Interesting. US 2-year yield still hanging up pretty high. H. The DXY doing. DXY. Ooh, we're up pretty high on DXY. 101. Pretty wild price action today. Okay, I'll be right back. I got my stop loss in place, so I'm not too worried. And the other positions are all off. Single MES. Sadly. Okay, yeah, I'm back. No problem. Yeah, I think you've already exhausted your 2 trades, eh? Yeah, this 15-minute close is not looking good. Or this 30-minute close. This 30-minute close also doesn't look good. What a crazy day. $30-minute. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It will probably hit. Though it was a good scalp, I must say. That hit. Yeah, I think that's gone. What a wild day. Holy cow. Yeah, that's fair. Very understandable. It's really good that you realize that. Yeah, because that happens to me quite a bit where I was like, hey, there's a chance I can go back even here and end the week off on a neutral note. So it's pretty good. We're human. So there's definitely an emotional aspect to it. And breaking even is probably better. It's better than sitting on a loss during the weekend when you had an opportunity to break even. And then when you come back next week, it's almost as if nothing happened, right? You start the week fresh, which is kind of nice. I just realized with the Lucid Flex accounts that all you need is 5 days with $150 of profit to meet the payout requirements. Like there's no buffer, there's nothing. Normally I'm used to like a $52,100 buffer on a 50K account. Like that's always been the accounts that I've traded with Tradeify, accounts that I've traded with my funded futures. Yeah, I agree. Wait, is the max 1500 or is it a max 1K? I gotta look that up again. Counting my chickens before it hatches here. Max is 2K, I see. Yeah, up to 2K. But you have to get 4K of profit in order to get the 2K, right? Yeah, that makes sense. And then they take 10%. I know some accounts they take 80, they take 20% now. Like my funded futures, I was getting 10% for a little while. And then suddenly they took 20% and I was like, holy cow, that's a lot. Like when I got paid out, I was just like, oh man, what happened to all the money that I requested? And it was like 20% was gone. And I didn't realize that they changed the rules. Yeah, 5 payouts, they move you to live, yeah. Yeah, the 80/20 kind of sucks. It's only on some accounts though, right? I find that they're not on all accounts. So this flex is actually pretty good. It was a nice surprise when I looked it up. And I was just like, oh, 90/10 is great. Yeah, I like Tradeify and Lucid. Most of my payouts came from my funded futures. But they started changing things, and they got more expensive, and the payouts have declined. So I feel like what's AF again? But yeah, like I've been paid out by my funded futures, so I like my funded futures the most. But they have changed. Oh, alpha futures, eh? Do they do activation fees? I'll have to start considering them. I haven't used them at all. No activation fees? That's beautiful. Can't argue with that. But I'll have to check their pricing too. Probably wait for some sort of promotion or something. I do not like my funded futures rapid. Ever since they started doing rapid, I was like, oh, they're copying take profit traders. And take profit is awesome if you're like very pro level at it. Because you can copy multiple accounts and they actually pay out, which is great. Like quite a number of accounts. But the only problem is they have intraday trailing once you get to the sim funded stage. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. That's true. I've never been that great at copying. I think I've mentioned that before. But it's just one of those things that I gotta push through and get used to it and just be okay with copying. But yeah, 10 accounts would take you far away. Especially if the flexes are 2K a piece. I actually don't remember the Tradeify. Because Tradeify started doing well, they had their growth account, obviously. But they started their select account. Let me check their back. Oh, is it 2K for okay. That's not bad. Oh, and they do 90%. That's for the growth. Yeah, actually that's it wasn't until I think only some accounts are 80% at my funded features, and it made me think that every account everywhere else was also doing it. But let me check select. Because the select flex reminds me of the Lucid Flex accounts. Yeah. Next drawdown. Consistency rule none. Yeah, 90-10. Oh yeah, 90-10. So yeah, Tradeify is really good. For some weird reason, I thought they moved to 80-20 with my funded futures. But that's great. Yeah. Oh no, actually, I'm looking at, yeah, the select daily payout. The select daily payout is the rough one because you have the 2100 buffer. It reminds me of their like pro account. So 90-10. And it sounds very complicated for the daily payouts. Honestly, I don't care for daily payouts. I'd only care for daily payouts once like I can like reap the rewards of like a 40-point trade every day, you know? Two X profit multiplier. Yeah, it's definitely the flex is just so much easier to understand. Actually, the flex you can take up to 3K. I don't know if you have to unlock that. Select flex. Oh, sorry, I gotta run. I gotta get the door. But I'm gonna leave my stream on for a little bit, and then but you might end up leaving. So if you do, have a good weekend, or maybe I'll see you tomorrow if you end up trading. Okay, I am back. I want to see. Okay, I think I'm gonna scrap the stream for the day. I'll let it a day.